Greetings, listeners. Welcome to another spine-chilling episode of the Stories Philippines podcast. I'm Alex, your host, and today we have a special story sent in by one of our listeners. Remember, the names and places in this story have been changed to protect the privacy of those involved. So, get comfortable, maybe grab a blanket, and prepare yourself for a tale that will make your skin crawl. Our story begins in a place not so far from here, in the bustling city of Sibiu. The Haunted Hotel in Sibiu. It all started when Samantha, a postgraduate student from the UK, decided to tag along with her boyfriend John on a trip to Sibiu. John had a business conference to attend, and since Samantha was already in the Philippines finishing her studies, she thought it would be a good idea to join him for a few days of relaxation. The journey was exciting, filled with anticipation. Samantha could hardly wait to see what Sibiu had to offer. The hotel they checked into was luxurious, with a view that stretched out over the city like a sparkling blanket of lights. It was the perfect place to unwind after a long day. After a long day at the conference, both John and Samantha were exhausted. They decided to head back to their hotel to get some much-needed rest. Their room, located on the top floor of a luxurious hotel, had a breathtaking view of the city and a cozy atmosphere that invited rest and relaxation. In the center of their room stood a small coffee table with 2 chairs. After a warm shower, Samantha went to bed earlier than John. 30 minutes later, John joined her, and they both drifted off to sleep. It was almost midnight when Samantha woke up to the smell of smoke. Puzzled and slightly alarmed, she opened her eyes to find a middle-aged woman sitting on one of the chairs at the foot of her bed. The woman was dressed in old-fashioned, conservative clothes, all black with lace trim. She appeared to be smoking, the source of the smell. At first, Samantha thought she was dreaming. The room seemed hazy, and she couldn't understand why a stranger would be in their room. She stared at the woman, trying to make sense of what she was seeing. But just as suddenly as she appeared, the woman vanished, leaving Samantha to question her sanity. The next morning, John was furious. He believed Samantha had broken their pact to quit smoking, pointing to the cigarette ashes on the coffee table as evidence. Despite Samantha's protest that she hadn't smoked, John refused to believe her. They argued, but eventually made up and decided to move on with their day. That night, they returned to their room after another long day at the conference. They moved the coffee table to the far end of the suite, hoping to avoid any more misunderstandings. John dismissed Samantha's encounter as a figment of her imagination, a result of stress and exhaustion. However, as they slept, Samantha felt something strange. She felt arms wrapping around her waist from behind, a gesture she assumed was from John. But the smell of smoke and the tightening grip made her realize it wasn't him. Panicked, she slapped the arms away and turned to see the same woman from the night before, staring at her with malevolent eyes. John woke up to the commotion and saw the woman himself. The sight shocked him, but as soon as he moved towards her, she disappeared. Terrified, they rushed to the hotel front desk and demanded an explanation. After several dismissals and reassurances that they were just imagining things, the manager finally confessed. The woman they saw was the first wife of the hotel's original owner, who had died in a fire many years ago. Here is our next story. The Bewitched Beach House in Bawang, La Union. Our next story takes us to a beach house in Bawang, La Union, where a group of friends decided to spend a Holy Week. Among the group was Marco, the owner, and his friends Ben, Clara, and Andy. They arrived at the beach house after a long drive from Manila, eager for a weekend of relaxation and fun. On the first night, they decided to drink on the balcony, enjoying the view of the farmland surrounding the house. The full moon illuminated the landscape, casting eerie shadows that danced with the night breeze. As they drank, they began sharing scary stories. Clara asked the neighbor about any local folklore. The neighbor mentioned that while there were no ghosts, there were rumors of witches in the area. Dismissing it as superstitious nonsense, they continued their night. However, things took a sinister turn when Clara saw a shadowy figure of a woman at the window. She asked Ben if he saw it too, and he confirmed. Frightened, they decided to move to the room downstairs to sleep. The following day, Marco's family came to visit, bringing breakfast and groceries. Among them was Marco's sister, Anna, who was going through a rough patch in her marriage. That night, Anna and her husband had a fierce argument, and things only got worse from there. The next night, Anna joined them at the beach to unwind. She had a drink and took a dip in the sea, but her mood seemed improved. They hoped the worst was over. However, around 9 p.m., Anna suddenly started screaming and throwing things in her room. Marco asked for their help, and they found Anna in a near catatonic state, muttering incoherently about her mother hurting her. The family tried to calm her down, holding her arms and legs while Marco's father placed a broomstick between her toes. They thought she was possessed. Marco was sent to fetch a local exorcist, and they all threw salt at the windows and doors as instructed. After a grueling hour, Anna calmed down, and the exorcist explained that a wandering spirit had taken hold of her. The doppelganger in KBTD. Our final story comes from a young man named Alex, who visited his family's cemetery in KBTD during All Saints' Day. While playing with candle wax, he heard someone call his name. Turning around, he saw a boy who looked exactly like him, staring back before running away. Alex chased after the boy but couldn't catch him. When he returned to his family, they told him that seeing a doppelganger often meant something bad was about to happen. True enough, shortly after, Alex's grandmother fell ill and passed away. A lesson from the stories. Listeners, these stories remind us that the supernatural can sometimes intersect with our lives in the most unexpected ways. Whether it's a haunted hotel room, a bewitched beach house, or an eerie doppelganger, these experiences teach us to respect the unknown and be cautious of the unseen. Thank you for joining us on this spine-tingling journey. Remember to share your own stories with us, and who knows, maybe you'll hear them in an upcoming episode. Until next time, stay safe and keep an eye out for things that go bump in the night.